Hello, and welcome to Exford Primary School's information session about reading at home with your child. This video is a summary of the information session held at the school and aims at giving you some information about the skills and knowledge that beginning readers focus on, as well as useful tips and advice to support your child with their reading development. Reading at home is a critical component to a developing reader, and your commitment to supporting your child with their reading at home will have a significant impact on their progress. To begin with, we will look at the reading skills needed to be able to decode words, meaning the ability to solve words that are unfamiliar. Have a look at these sentences. The bandage was wound around the wound. The farm was used to produce produce. We must polish the Polish furniture. The soldier decided to desert his desert in the desert. These sentences not only highlight the strangeness of the English language, but the need for students to use a whole range of strategies to make sense of what is on the page. When you read those sentences, you used three main strategies. If you relied just on letter sound knowledge, that's visual information, those sentences would not have made sense. You needed to incorporate your background knowledge, meaning, and your understanding of the English language, structural information. As good readers, we automatically ask the questions, does it make sense, does it sound right, and does it look right? As beginning readers, children do not do this automatically. They need support and practice. These three questions would be questions that you could ask your child during reading. Let's have some further practice. Look at this sentence and think of what types of words might go in there. It could be ran, jumped, galloped, all verbs, because we understand the English language and understand that the only words that make sense in here would be verbs. Something had to do something across the lawn. So now we have some more information. We know it is a rabbit. So what are some words that would make sense? The rabbit could have hopped, jumped, something like that. We used our background knowledge of rabbits to make a better guess. And finally, we have some visual information. We know it starts with sk. So it must be something like scampered or scurried. It is when we put all of this information together that we become successful readers. When your child gets stuck with a word at home, think about these three sources of information and which ones will support them in being able to solve the unfamiliar word. Later in the video, we will look at some prompts that you can use to target those sources of information. So we've talked about decoding and word solving, but reading is a whole lot more than just reading the words on the page. This diagram gives you a snapshot of all the areas of reading that proficient readers do. These are areas that are taught all across the school. Good readers will be able to integrate all of these strategies while reading to create a deep understanding of what they have read. Here is a quote about comprehension. Reading is the construction of meaning. Without understanding, there is no reading. Everything about reading is directed towards making meaning. If a child has read every word on the page but cannot give you the details about what he or she has read, they are not truly reading. Reading is all about understanding. A common discussion point from parents is that the books they are taking home are too easy. Yes, your child may be able to read every word on the page, but perhaps an area for improvement for them may be in their understanding of what they have read. It is then beneficial for a student to be practicing their comprehension with books that have less challenging words, so they are able to focus on summarizing what was read or making inferences about how a character might be feeling. The comprehension strategies that are taught at Exford are summarizing, so telling it what the story was about, synthesizing, gathering lots of information from different sources and then making your own thoughts, inferring, finding out what was not explicitly stated in the text, predicting, so thinking about what might be coming next, making connections, that could be a connection to another book or it could be a connection to something that's happened to them, critiquing, so actually thinking about why they like something or dislike it, analyzing, thinking about how the author has constructed that text, questioning, asking questions before and during reading, and using prior knowledge, so activating what they already know about the topic. The best way to support your child with comprehension is to talk to them about what they have read. Ask them questions before, during, and after reading, and tell them your thoughts about a book. You are a great role model for them, and discussing your thoughts is so beneficial. So that's a very quick introduction to the areas of reading. Now we will look at how you can help at home in greater detail. The simplest thing to remember are the 4 P's: preview, pause, prompt, and praise. When we say preview, we are looking at to access prior knowledge about a topic or type of book. It is much easier to read if you already know something about the book. So before diving into the book, talk to your child about what it could be about. What might happen? Does it remind them of anything? Look at the front cover and talk about the title. And always remember to share your thoughts as well. Pausing gives your child a chance to practice what they have been learning about. It is so tempting to tell them the answer to just get the book finished, but doing so takes away their opportunity to improve and practice. Give them a few seconds, or wait until they give you that pleading look. When that happens, you can then prompt them. This is where an understanding of the different information used to read a word can be beneficial. Here are some prompts that you can try. Be mindful that not all of these will work at all times. What do you think you could do to work out the word? Look at the first letter, look at the last letter, and look at the letters in between. What do you think the word might be? Does it look like any other word you already know? Try sounding it out. Try breaking the word into syllables. Read the sentence again. Read to the end of the sentence. Any ideas? Does it make sense in the story? Does that word look right? If the child is still unable to read it, just tell them. The final P is praise. Praise your child to reward their efforts. Give them feedback that is useful to them, but also promotes the enjoyment of reading. Reading at home should be enjoyable, not a chore. Praising your child is one small thing that you can do to make it an enjoyable experience. Here are some other notes just about reading at home. Just be careful not to draw the preview, pause, prompt, praise process out too long, that it takes away from the enjoyment. We believe that sending just right books home eliminates frustration felt by the parents and child. We want the experience to be enjoyable. It is the school's role to focus on texts that instruct the child towards the next level of reading. And reading a familiar text helps children to develop fluency and confidence. Sometimes reading at home can become difficult. Here are a few ideas that you can try. You can try building it into a routine, so you do it at the same time every day. You can read the book aloud to your child. There's nothing wrong with doing that. As you're reading aloud to your child, have your child point to the words as you read it. You could read a page each. You can make it a competition. Read a favourite book. Kids love reading favourite books over and over and over. Encourage books about favourite topics or by favourite authors. And talk to your child's teacher about your concerns and any successes that you've had at home. Remember, reading at home should be an enjoyable experience. It just so happens that it is so important to the development of young readers. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We hope it will prove useful to you and you will have many enjoyable nights of reading with your children at home. If you have any further questions about anything to do with reading, please contact your child's teacher. Thank you for watching.